My name is Vlad Portnoy, and I am an elder law and estate planning attorney in New York and New Jersey. Today, as every Tuesday, we are addressing your burning concerns and questions about all things probate, estate planning, and Medicaid planning. We receive a lot of questions from our existing clients and after we record the seminars, and we try to address them all the time. If you haven't asked yours, please feel free because chances are someone out there has the same question as you. And here we go. Qualify for New York Medicaid, you have to qualify what's called category. There are three categories. There's income, savings, and health. Health presumably is the easiest one to qualify because if you were not experiencing health issues, you probably wouldn't be trying to get Medicaid. So we are going to leave that to medical professionals who will be doing the intake on that during Medicaid process. What we're discussing here is income and savings, which is what's called resource in Medicaid speak. In New York, currently, you have to have no more than close to $1,800 a month in monthly income as a single person and close to $2,400 a month as a couple. By the same token, the resources or savings would be $30,000 anywhere, located anywhere around you as savings for a single person and $40,000 for a couple. You may ask yourself, well, I have a house and I have savings and I'm definitely over the threshold. Also, my income is $2,500 or maybe it's $3,500 or maybe a couple has $8,000, $9,000. All of that is taken into account when we plan. Our sweet spot is for a single person to have about $3,000 income and for a couple about $4,000 or $5,000 income. No more than that because after that becomes complicated. This is not to say that this cannot be done, but obviously this is what I said, it's a sweet spot. So for New York, what we do is we deal with your excess income to keep it down to your allowable limit. And with the savings, we deal with every part of your savings separately because checking and savings, for example, get treated differently from investment accounts and yet differently from real estate and from retirement accounts and from life insurance. So all of that we have to review one by one and see what we can do. Chances are you actually may qualify, even if you just think that you have too much, but not enough, unfortunately, to afford your own health insurance or survive otherwise. This is where we come in, and this is where we have a conversation. So give us a call, and we will go through all of your income and all of your savings, and we will deal with it accordingly. We always have clients confused. Even attorneys that don't do this use the term Medicare in lieu of Medicaid. And it's just not the same. Medicare is a right. You just get it upon a certain age. After paying what's called paying into the system, part of the withholdings from your gross income before you receive your net income goes to pay various governmental programs and things of that nature. And that's what pays in the system. And later you get Medicare. Medicare is a federally funded program and it's administered by Social Security Administration. Medicaid is a state program and it's partially funded by federal government. And there's the interplay because each state has their own Medicaid rules. So if I'm a New York attorney and you say, hey, you're an elder law attorney, I live in Florida, what do I do? There's nothing I would be able to tell you except for recommending a trusted colleague that you should speak with who is specializing in this area and does work in Florida. So Medicaid is a privilege. You do not get Medicaid automatic. You have to qualify categorically by income, savings, and health. A look back means a certain period of time that passed before you applied for Medicaid. And when we talk about 5 years, the law actually doesn't call it 5 years. It calls it 16 months because everything is calculated by month. But 5 years is just easier to say. Usually there's two types of Medicaid. There's what's called a community Medicaid. This is when you live at home and you just go to doctors and maybe get home attended. And there is a nursing home Medicaid, which is where you absolutely have to go to nursing home and reside there and receive full room and board, the nursing, the meals, the activities, everything of that nature. In most states, if not all states outside New York, both types of Medicaid have 5-year look or 60-month. This is when time of application for Medicaid. Medicaid looks back 5 years to see if you have not done anything that would disqualify you from being approved, at least immediate. And it's called a penalty period because Medicaid may say, well, because of your previous transactions, you may not be eligible for Medicaid right now. Please come back at a later date. Or we start the clock now. In New York, nursing home Medicaid also has 5 years, but community Medicaid so far does not, which is very good news for the clients. However, there is a law in place that was passed a long time ago, pre-pandemic, that sets up 30 months or 2.5 years look back for community Medicaid. It just hasn't started yet. It was supposed to start on April 1st, 2020, but because of pandemic, it keeps being pushed back. The government always shows intent to implement it. They just going to set up a date. So when that happens, there's going to be a look back of 2.5 years. And my guess would be that they would then slowly raise it up to 5 to match other states. So for now, when there's no look back, this is a very opportune time for New York residents to apply for Medicaid, and they can qualify. In terms of your savings, you can have $30,000 as a single applicant and $40,000 as a couple. And this, we're talking about married couple, legally married couple. This includes everything that you have in general. And obviously, in this day and age, you may have more, maybe not much more, maybe a lot more. So all of this needs to be dealt accordingly. And that's why you need a conversation with an attorney who practices in this area and can really look into every type of your savings or resource, as Medicaid calls it, and deal with it accordingly.